Hello everyone. So today I'll be talking about one verse which contains misogyny from each of the four largest religions in the world. Now jumping right into the first religion I'll be talking about, which is Christianity. Now, Christianity is the largest religion in the world with 2.4 billion adherents, which form about 30.7% of the entire population of the world. The first epistle to Timothy is part of the New Testament in the Bible, which is traditionally attributed to Saint Paul. Among other themes, this book contains information, instructions for the roles of women, generally in the church. So the verse is 1 Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. This verse clearly states that a woman is not to have authority over a man and her role is to be silent. This verse is widely used to oppress women in large segments of Christianity, even today. Now, I don't think I need to talk much about Christianity because being the largest religion in the world, it also receives a fair amount of criticism already. And I think most people are generally aware of what Christianity preaches usually. So I'll be moving on to the next religion, which is Islam. Now, Islam is the second largest religion in the world with around 1.9 billion adherents, which make about 24.3% of the entire population of the world. The verse I'll be talking about is Surah An-Nisa. The An-Nisa literally means the women. It is the fourth surah or the fourth chapter in the Quran. And this following verse, is probably among the most popular verses of the Quran, which is usually used as a criticism against Islam. Now, the verse is Surah An-Nisa 4:34. Men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other and what they spend from their wealth. So righteous women are devoutly submissive, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. But those wives from whom you fear arrogance, first advise them, then if they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. But if they obey you once more, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. Now, Muslim apologists argue that this verse only asks for a light slap of the wrist kind of thing, and many modern versions, including a very popular internet site, the Sahih International, from which I actually got this particular versions sometimes include the word lightly. Now, the word is not mentioned in the verse I stated because Sahih International didn't mention the word, but many modern Muslim apologists just add the word lightly before the word strike in this verse to make it seem a little nicer, but that certainly doesn't work that well. However, the Arabic version of the Quran doesn't have words which can be translated into lightly in this particular verse. Islam does promote wife beating. Moving on to the third religion, which is the religious background I come from, it is Hinduism. Hinduism is the third largest religion in the world with around 1.2 billion adherents, which makes about 15.3% of the entire world population. I chose this following verse in particular because of how similar it is to the Quranic verse I mentioned earlier. Uh, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is one of the 13 principal Upanishads out of the 108 canonical Upanishads in Hinduism. It is a key scripture, and the ideas in the Upanishads are still revered in Hinduism. These are among the earliest scriptures in Hinduism, and this particular Upanishad is one of the first ever Upanishadic scriptures ever. So, this is really important. One of the reasons why one can say that Upanishads and this Upanishad in particular is among the key scriptures is because the concept of karma. Now, karma is among the core principles of Hinduism, and one of the earliest formulation of the theory of karma is found in this particular Upanishad. Hence, we can publicly say that this is one of the key scriptures in Hinduism. Now, the verse is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 6:4-7. If she does not willingly yield her body to him, he should buy her with presents. If she is still unyielding, He should strike her with a stick or with his hand and overcome her, repeating the following mantra: with power and glory, I take away your glory. Thus, she becomes discredited. This verse is strangely similar to the An-Nisa verse I mentioned earlier, and the verse suggests that the husband can beat his wife in the second or third time after he tries convincing her or making her obey to him, to make her submit to him. And if the first tries fail, then he's allowed to beat her. Now, the sad thing is that data from the National Family Health Survey of 2015 to 16 reveals that 52% of the women in India think that it is okay for their husbands to beat them in certain occasions, while a slightly lower percentage of only 42% of the men think that it is okay for them to beat their wives in certain cases. In certain rural parts in India, even today, there are boys as young as 8 years old who are socially taught that violence against women is acceptable in certain scenarios. It is really horrible. Moving on to the fourth largest religion, which is Buddhism. Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in the world with around 506 million adherents, so not as many as the earlier three, but it is still a lot, and it makes about 6.5% of the entire world population. Now, the verse I will be mentioning is an extract from the Buddhist scripture in the scripture called Sutta Pitaka. Now, the Sutta literature forms the backbone of the teachings of Buddha himself. They are considered as authoritative in both Theravada and Mahayana traditions. The following verse is an extract from a larger sutta which describes the instance when Buddha was invited to the house of a householder named Uggaha, who asked Buddha to advise his daughters because he was giving away his daughters in marriage, so basically marrying off his daughters, and so he asked Buddha to give advice for his daughters to be good wives. So this is the part of the advice he gave. You can go and check the entire verse, but this is just one of the advices he gave, and the verse goes like this: Anguttara Nikaya 533. Wherefore, girls, train yourselves this way, to whatsoever husband our parents shall give us, wishing our weal, seeking our happiness, compassionate because of compassion for him, we will rise up early, be the last to retire, and be willing workers, order all things sweetly, and be gentle voiced. Now, I think it is important to talk about Buddhism because of the attitude towards it. Many people, including various atheists, many atheists think of Buddhism as this some highly progressive religion. People don't know that it has really severe misogyny in it, like as was proven with this verse I mentioned. Women are supposed to train themselves in a way so that they can always put their husbands before them. They are supposed to be meek and working around in the house, and they are supposed to comply with their husband's wishes because apparently it is good karma. And this is basically, there are several other misogynistic instances in Buddhist scriptures. So Buddhism is a misogynistic religion and it needs to be exposed as such. Thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to talk about it because I see there are so many women who consider themselves to be feminist, who are following religions, who are religious, and it just boggles my mind how they can be religious when religions, the four largest religions as I mentioned here, are so misogynistic against them. And this is really bothering me, so I just wanted to talk about it. But thank you for watching again, and see you until next time. Bye.